Before crowns ruled kingdoms and before swords claimed empires, there was a ring. Small enough to slip onto a finger, powerful enough to shape civilizations. A single beam of light reveals a circle of gold resting on ancient stone. The air is thick with dust. Echoes of forgotten voices whisper through time. From the dawn of humanity, we have been obsessed with circles. The sun, the moon, the horizon, endless, unbroken, eternal. And so we forged eternity into something we could hold. Thousands of years ago, along the fertile banks of the Nile, artisans shaped reeds and leather into simple loops. These were not yet jewels of splendor, but symbols of connection. To the ancient Egyptians, the circle had no beginning and no end. It represented eternity. When two people bound themselves in marriage, they exchanged rings woven from papyrus, placing them on the fourth finger of the left hand, believing a vein ran directly to the heart, the vena amoris. Whether truth or myth, the belief endured. As trade routes expanded, so did materials. Gold replaced reeds, precious stones replaced bone. Rings were no longer merely tokens of love, they became declarations of status. The camera shifts to a bustling Roman marketplace. In Rome, rings became contracts. Iron bands were worn by married women as a public symbol of ownership. Later, gold rings marked citizenship and power. Senators wore them to display authority. Military commanders used signet rings to stamp wax seals onto decrees, each impression a mark of legitimacy. A single ring could command armies. A single ring could seal a fate. In dim candlelight, a Roman general presses his ring into molten wax. The seal cools. A war begins. The scene transitions to medieval Europe. Stone cathedrals rise into gray skies. Inside, bishops wear ornate rings embedded with amethysts and sapphires. These rings are kissed by followers as symbols of divine authority. Meanwhile, in distant lands, rings carry different meanings. In India, toe rings signify marriage. In China, jade rings symbolize protection and prosperity. Across cultures, rings become vessels of belief, worn not only for beauty, but for blessing. And then, there were rings of secrecy. Hidden chambers, cloaked figures, rings engraved with mysterious symbols passed between members of secret orders. Some claimed they granted power, others protection. A ring was no longer just metal, it was identity. Now the camera enters a royal treasury. Velvet-lined cases open to reveal diamond-studded rings glowing like captured starlight. Kings and queens commissioned rings not only as gifts of affection, but as tools of diplomacy. Engagement rings among nobility symbolized alliances between kingdoms. In 1477, Archduke Maximilian of Austria presented Mary of Burgundy with a diamond engagement ring shaped like the letter M. It is one of the earliest recorded diamond engagement rings in history. Diamonds, once rare and mysterious, became the ultimate symbol of enduring love. But love was not always the only story. Poison rings emerged in whispered legends, rings with hidden compartments used to carry deadly substances. Whether myth or reality, they deepened the ring's aura of intrigue. A circle of beauty, a circle of betrayal. The age of industrialization transforms the world. Industrialization makes jewelry more accessible. Rings are no longer limited to royalty and the elite. The middle class begins to participate in traditions once reserved for kings. And then, in the 20th century, a marketing campaign changes everything. A diamond is forever. With those 4 words, engagement rings become an expectation across much of the world. The ring is no longer optional. It is a ritual. A proposal without a ring feels incomplete. The camera slows as a small velvet box opens in trembling hands. Beyond gold and stone, today rings are more diverse than ever. Silicone bands worn by athletes, titanium rings forged for strength, smart rings tracking heartbeats and sleep patterns. Technology now circles the finger. Ancient symbolism meets modern innovation. Yet despite all the evolution, the meaning remains strangely constant. Connection, commitment, continuity. The final scene returns to the single ring on stone, but now it is surrounded by others, rings from different eras, cultures, and purposes. A Roman signet, an Egyptian reed band, a medieval bishop's ring, a diamond engagement ring, a sleek black smart ring. Different materials, different meanings, same shape. The narrator speaks softly. Why a circle? Because it has no end. We wear rings to remember promises, to declare love, to wield authority, to express faith, to mark milestones, to carry memory. And perhaps, because deep down, we long for something eternal in a world that constantly changes. The camera slows into the hollow center of the ring. Darkness fills the screen once more. The final words echo. Empires crumble, dynasties fall, but the circle remains. A ring, small, silent, unbroken, continues its journey through human hands, carrying our stories, our power, and our hope. Fade to black.